I'm the DEA. I'm the government.
Am I being detained right now?
Not you, but your
Am
bag.
I free to go?
Not your bag.
I don't consent to being searched.
I don't care
so
what your
this
consent
is,
stuff.
Am I being suspected of a crime? I just want this to be reported.
I don't know. Number one. You see that? You got to record it. Don't edit that part out of the video either.
No,
So he sat on your bag.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 20 years. Okay. So I know what I can and cannot do. I'm telling you, if I were you, I'd call your lawyer and see what he wants you to do. You're trying this legal stuff, it's not going to work, dude. We're pretty good on law. That's what we do. We know our law. We know what we're doing out here and what we can and cannot do.
Is this true that these DEA agents can seize your bag, but that's not the same as seizing you? The U.S. Supreme Court actually addressed this back in 1983 and said the exact opposite of what these two idiots just said.
And I'm annoyed too that you caused such a scene for something so silly, but you actually disobeyed me, disrespected me, and walked on a plane even though I politely asked you to put your bag down for a canine search, and you refused to do that.
Even though it's 100% legal to go to an airport and fly somewhere in this country with cash, including any amount of cash, our federal government, our DEA, has a policy of trying to figure out who may be traveling with cash, having no information that that individual may be a criminal or engaged in criminal activity. They have a policy of trying to find cash if you have it, and then they take it and they make you try to fight to get it back. They don't charge you with any crime. They just take it and hold on to it and hope that you don't jump through all the hoops to try to get it back. This is called civil forfeiture, and this is an absolute outrage. And here you can see exactly how it happens and how disgusting it is. I want you to watch this footage so you can see exactly what your federal government is doing to innocent people, because it could happen to you or your family members. So you need to understand, and you need to make sure that your friends and family also understand. I'm also going to tell you how you can join the fight to stop this. So this guy was just trying to travel. This plainclothes DEA guy comes up to him, and this is what occurs.
Set your bag down, and then you can walk on the plane. You can do that, but you can't take your bag.
You're not with the, what do you call it? I've seen these like videos on YouTube before. You're not with the...
I'm the DEA. I'm the government.
That's great. But do you have like legal ability to search
yes,
right now?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Not you, man, but your bag. Yes, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Let me call somebody. Jeez Louise. Why are you so angry? Okay.
I'm not angry. I just want my rights to be respected. That's all.
I just told you can walk on, but you can set your bag down. And we'll just have a dog.
Or else you're gonna. Am I being detained right now?
Not you, but your bag.
Am I free to go?
Not your bag.
To understand the context here, an air traveler such as this has already gone through the TSA security process. So they've already been searched, had their bag searched to see if there was any sort of security threat. But this is not about security. This is about money. So when the TSA observes large amounts of cash, and usually it appears that the threshold is $5,000 or greater, even though that's perfectly legal, they will notify their buddies at the DEA because I think they get some sort of kickback on that. And even though it's not a security threat at all, you've already gone through the security process, you're about to get on the airplane, and then one of these DEA interdiction agents approaches you. You can get on the plane, but your bag's not. Your bag is staying with me, unless you agree to XYZ and you answer all my questions. And ultimately what they're trying to do is to find and seize whatever cash they think you have.
I told you like
I'm gonna
20
walk
times.
then.
You can't do that.
Am I being detained?
Robert,
Then am I free to go?
Oh, that's my. Hey,
That's yours. Where's your bag at?
I don't consent to search, sir.
You don't have to consent. Where's your backpack at? Where is it? Under your seat?
It got put away, but I don't consent to being searched.
I don't care
so
what your
this
consent
is,
stuff. I don't really care about your phone recording. Get your backpack. You want to watch the dog?
Yes,
you want
please.
To sit in your seat?
I would like to watch
Well,
the
then
dog.
come out.
I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just don't like being searched.
You're not trying to be a jerk.
No, I
You might be
don't
the
know who
biggest
you are.
jerk since I've ever met out here, honestly.
That's fair, dude. But like, I just don't. I know my rights on
You
this
know
one.
what we do?
I know what you do. I respect you
You said you
guys.
watch videos.
I do.
So when you buy a last minute ticket, since you're recording, that way you guys can share this all
Business
over
traveler.
the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you buy a last minute ticket,
Yeah.
we get alerts. We come out to any and all flights. Doesn't matter who you are, race, sex, nothing, right?
Yeah.
We come out and we talk to those people, which I tried to do to you, but you wouldn't allow me to do it.
Again,
I asked you for your ID, you refused to pull your ID out, okay?
I just don't consent to
Which
being
is,
searched.
that's cool, man, whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Your belongings, like I told you on the recording, you were free to walk on the plane.
My belongings are also part of my rights, too.
Your body, listen to me, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Your body was free. Your bag, check bag, roller bags, I have a dog.
Am I
Which smells-
under suspicion of a crime right now? Do you have probable cause?
So we have a lot of money and drugs going out of every airport
Understood.
to New York.
Okay.
It's an influx of it.
Okay.
Okay? So that's my
am I being suspected of a crime? I just want this to be
I
reported.
don't know.
Do you have probable cause for a search?
I have probable cause for a dog to walk up and smell your bag. Yes.
This is,
That-
like, I'm gonna
you
have
actually-
my lawyers are going to be
you
taking this up with
You
you.
didn't take your bag off like I asked you to.
I
And all
don't,
was
I don't
asking
have
you to
to.
is
I
set
asked
the
you if I was
bag
being
down.
detained, and I can walk away if not.
You can, yes,
I
but
have
not
followed
your
the
bag.
Constitution
Your
like
bag was
very
the problem.
vigorously.
I asked you to put your bag down.
You don't have rights to my bag. I don't know who you are. It doesn't.
You don't know who I am. I told you who I was. I told you
Yeah,
from the start who I was. Don't do that nonsense. You knew who I was. Stop. Just stop it, dude. Stop with that. I don't know who you were. Here, get here. Bro. Number one. Oh, boy. You see that? You got to record it. Don't edit that part out of the video either. So he sat on your bag.
Okay.
We would ask you if we can search your bag to make sure there is no money. The dog just alerted. He alerts to money, drugs, and weapons. Okay. He sat on your bag, which you recorded.
I saw him run
Can we? He's got to get. That's what they do. Okay. Are you a canine handler?
I'm not a
Do you know
canine.
anything about canines?
I've watched
then I
them
probably
in
wouldn't-
training
I probably wouldn't
stables.
talk about it.
Okay.
So he alerted on your bag.
Okay.
Now this is your legal right. You can allow us to look at it, or you can tell me no, and we can write a search warrant. We can apply for one. I don't know if we'll get one or not, but we'll apply for
I
one.
don't consent to being searched.
So you don't want us to search your bag either?
Don't consent to be searched.
Okay. All right. Well, then we got to take your bag back. So do you want to sit with us in the PD while we try to get a warrant on your bag today? What do you want to do?
I don't consent to being searched, sir. I'm sorry.
I know, but I'm telling you, we're going to take your bag back for a search warrant.
Okay, then I'm going to call my lawyer and get a lawsuit on this one because this gets my rights.
This is what we're allowed to do. You made your own problem.
Do you want to stay with your bag, or do you want to get on the plane and leave your bag with them?
I'm going to exercise
those are the two
exercise my
choices.
rights here on this one. I don't consent to being searched. You guys are going to have to do what you got to do. I understand you guys have jobs too, but
You did all this just for what?
just
This is what we do. Let me tell you, we've been doing this for a long time. Years and years and years.
I
Longer than
understand
probably you've been alive.
I respect you, sir.
We're within our rights, or I wouldn't do what I did.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 20 years. So I know what I can and cannot do.
Now, understand, generally, this has nothing to do with criminal investigations. The DEA's airport interdiction and seizure practices are typically not conducted as part of any ongoing or known criminal investigations. And they're not random and not based on the agent's identification of behaviors that give rise to any reasonable suspicion or probable cause. It's just they have some reason to believe you could have cash on you. That's perfectly legal. The DEA interdiction agents have a policy or practice of conducting these suspicionless and non-consensual seizures of airport travelers based solely on the agent's knowledge or belief that those specific travelers are traveling with large amounts of cash. Because that knowledge or belief does not itself give rise to reasonable suspicion, these targeted airport seizures are suspicionless, non-consensual seizures that violate the Fourth Amendment.
You're good? Yeah. Yep. All right, man. Well, you want to come back with us? You can sit in the lobby. We can call you. You can get your phone number.
So is my flight going to be?
Okay, that's your plane.
All right.
So come on up here while it's moving. Maybe you should call your lawyer and see what he thinks you should do. That's what I would do if I were you.
I just did some research on this when I was on the plane, but
Well, Google's great. I'm telling you, if I were you, I'd call your lawyer and see what he wants you to do. And
so just for the record, I didn't consent to be searched. They brought, whatever it is, I got dragged off the plane here. Is that accurate?
Actually, you walked off the plane. I didn't drag you off. I took your bag off the plane. So
You took the bag off
Tell your
my
story
plane.
straight.
Okay.
Tell your story
Your bag's
straight.
detained, not you.
Yeah, you've done. You're trying this
Okay.
legal stuff. It's not going to work, dude.
So you took my
walked
bag off the plane.
Did I drag you off? No. Did you get off the plane? Did you ask to come off the plane? You walked off the plane. Fact check, bro.
Basically, do you want a receipt for the bag?
You want a receipt for the bag?
All right, you guys I consent to search it.
What's that?
Yeah, I consent to search.
Okay.
We're good to have you fill out a form.
Well,
You caused a
fill
hell
out
of a scene.
paper consent to search
Yeah,
at this point.
just- I can't just do your
You
word,
said
'cause
no.
you're probably gonna try to-
You said no. We brought a dog out. Now we got to get you to do a piece of paper saying I
I don't want to send anything, but I verbally and consenting search on video.
Either you sign a piece of paper.
Or we got to write a warrant. That's what we have to do legally. We're pretty good on law. That's what we do. We know our law. We know what we're doing out here and what we can and cannot do.
Okay.
It's a piece of paper that will literally stay with us. It just says that you're allowing us to search it. If you want to sign your name that says that we can search it, which I don't know why it's so difficult, we'll search it. If not, we're going to do the same thing I just told you. I'm not going to repeat all over again. Think about it for a minute. I know you're irritated. I have a phone. Yeah. I know you're annoyed. And I'm annoyed too that you caused such a scene for something so silly. But we're kind of past that. So how do you want to proceed is the real thing. Do you want to get the heck out of this airport?
Sure.
Or do you want to sit with us all day long? You don't have to sit with us. You can do whatever you want. You can fly, like I've told you 100 times. You can get on a plane. You just have to put your bag down, which you refuse to do. You actually disobeyed me, disrespected me, and walked on the plane, even though I politely asked you to put your bag down for a canine search, and you refused to do that.
I googled it. It's my rights to walk away when I'm not being detained.
It is.
It is.
But your bag's detained, not you. You're.
Is this true that these DEA agents can seize your bag, but that's not the same as seizing you? Do they really know the law like they say that they do? The U.S. Supreme Court actually addressed this back in 1983 and said the exact opposite of what these two idiots just said. So the government tried to make this argument back in 1983 to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said in United States versus Place, the premise of the government's arguments is that seizures of property are generally less intrusive than seizures of the person. While true in some circumstances, that premise is faulty on the facts that we address in this case. The court said the person whose luggage is detained is technically still free to continue his travels or carry out other personal activities pending release of the luggage. Moreover, he is not subjected to the coercive atmosphere of a custodial confinement or to the public indignity of being personally detained. Nevertheless, such a seizure can effectively restrain the person since he is subjected to the possible disruption of his travel plans in order to remain with his luggage or to arrange for its return. Therefore, when the police seize luggage from the suspect's custody, we think the limitations applicable to investigative detentions of the person should define the permissible scope of investigative detention of the person's luggage on less than probable cause. Therefore, the seizure of the bag here is the same as a seizure of the individual himself. Such a seizure can effectively restrain the person since he's subjected to the possible disruption of his travel plans. So actually, they were wrong.
I think you're mostly.
Do you have probable cause, reasonable suspicion on this, or not? Then detaining my property, same as me. That's the law says here.
We're not letting you on the
Okay.
aircraft until we know what's in the bag. That's a safety issue.
The bag
Well,
is searched.
I mean, the
We don't know
TSA
if
has
there's
searched my
narcotics, we don't
bag.
know if there's- Well, we're not TSA, sir.
They look for certain things. They don't
We look for
what
certain
we look
things,
for.
and they look for certain things, we look for certain things.
You may have to get a form
So-
from Eli. I might have used all my forms up.
What's your decision? You want to?
I said I consent to search. I'll sign.
You'll sign? Okay. You can go to Dan and get them?
We may need to. I think I used my last one up,
You're right.
which is shocking that I didn't replenish it. You have your ID? Is it in here or there? I have to have it the right this form up. I'm not sure.
The law actually doesn't distinguish between bodily property. I'm being detained now because my bag is
Yeah, but you
taken,
gotta
my
remember, so
property is
you're
away.
not out in the public. You're in an airport, and
This is a public area for what it's
your
worth.
bags are not. They're different than your person. Okay.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay.
We wouldn't do this and be doing it across the country if it was illegal. So it would be shut down.
You are allowed to ask. to take
allowed
my
to
take my
ask.
property without
Well, I
my
didn't take
consent.
it. I'm not taking anything.
You did.
I
You
was
took it off the plane. I didn't consent to it. You grabbed it off the plane, took it here.
That's for a dog
That's
sniff.
true, right?
That's a dog sniff.
You took it off the plane, right?
Yeah.
That's the fact.
Well,
Without my consent to
The
being
fact
searched.
is, I'm allowed to do that, and the fact
Okay.
is, if the dog didn't hit, then we wouldn't even be standing up here.
We all know that your rights change once you're inside an airport, but it's an absolute lie or fiction that somehow you have no rights once you're inside an airport. This long-standing practice of the DEA in conjunction with the TSA to harass and violate the rights of innocent travelers is absolutely unconstitutional. Again, the U.S. Supreme Court in United States versus Place back in 1983, you can be detained under certain circumstances, but there has to be some reasonable, articulable suspicion that you're somehow engaged in criminal activity. Here, David absolutely called this DEA guy out. He kept asking, what is your reasonable suspicion or probable cause? The only thing that this guy gave was, well, I get notified when somebody buys a last-minute ticket. Courts have already shot that down. David was absolutely right that he had no obligation to leave his bag with this guy. And as I already explained, this guy was completely wrong that bags are treated different than the person. The U.S. Supreme Court, again, way back in 1983, said that your luggage, under certain circumstances, if it would hinder your travel plans, is to be considered the same as you as far as detainment goes. So why doesn't this guy actually know the law after having done this for 20 years? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the law is. What are you going to do about it? You really can't sue federal officers. Even if you bring me a video of a federal officer violating your constitutional rights, I basically cannot do anything about it. But who can do something about it? Well, the Institute for Justice, who gave me permission to use this footage, has a class action lawsuit right now pending against the DEA as well as the TSA, arguing that these practices violate the Fourth Amendment. And this lawsuit has some crazy extreme examples of the injustices that have been going on as a result of this policy and practice by the DEA and the TSA. For example, one of their clients, in late August 2019, Terry entrusted his daughter, Rebecca, with $82,373 in cash, his and his parents' life savings, so she could deposit it into a new bank account for him. They planned to use the money for his health care and other needs, including replacing his teeth and fixing his truck. That ended up getting seized, and they wouldn't give it back. No allegation of criminal activity. May 19th, 2020, Stacy and her husband were returning from a trip to North Carolina. TSA screeners and DEA agents at the Wilmington International Airport seized approximately $40,000 to $45,000 in cash they were traveling with, most of which, approximately $38,000 in cash, was sealed in a clear plastic food saver bag in Stacy's carry-on luggage. That ended up getting seized. No allegation of criminal activity, yet the government kept it and is still trying to keep it. November 3rd, 2015, Matt was flying domestically from Las Vegas, Nevada to Newark, New Jersey to inspect and potentially purchase a pre-owned commercial tour bus in New York. He was traveling with $55,000 in $100 bills inside his carry-on luggage. He had paperwork and electronic communications with the seller regarding the potential business purchase. The government found it first, though, and ended up seizing it and trying to keep it, still has it. No allegations of criminal activity, no criminal charges at all. This is just about money, folks. And there are many other just terrible examples of the government using this awful civil forfeiture mechanism, trying to keep the cash assets of law-abiding American citizens without any allegation of criminal activity, without any criminal charges pending. Well, the Institute for Justice filed back in 2020 this class action lawsuit on this identical issue. And it's still pending. It's now in the discovery stage. These are sort of long-term, complicated, very expensive lawsuits. The Institute for Justice, and I've done many videos on their cases, is a fantastic nonprofit law firm. They do nationwide work. It's basically suing the government, state, federal, local, on issues such as this. Civil forfeiture has been one of their topic areas where they've been very aggressive suing the government. And right now, they're raising money to help with this lawsuit, and they need money to help with this lawsuit. And you can see why. The government has been doing this for years and years and years, and they see no need to stop because they're making tons of money, and no federal judge so far has forced them to stop, and that needs to change. The Institute for Justice needs your help. I'm going to put the donation link below, and I'm asking you to donate what you can, whatever you can, to help aid them in this fight. Remember, this has nothing to do with investigating crime or even airline security. Once TSA screeners have determined that there are no defined prohibited items that are present in your baggage and that the traveler and their luggage and their personal effects do not present a safety threat, the security screening has concluded and there's no further authority by TSA to further detain that traveler or their luggage or personal effects. Cash is not a weapon. Cash is not an explosive. Cash is not an incendiary. Cash is not a threat to transportation security or air travel safety. Air travelers with large amounts of cash do not, on that basis, present any threat to transportation security or air travel safety. No statute or regulation identifies cash or currency as a threat to transportation security or air travel safety. No statute or regulation identifies cash or currency as a dangerous or prohibited item for air travelers. TSA provides an online list of items which are or are not prohibited. There are currently 459 items on that list, and nowhere on that list of 459 items are cash, currency, or money mentioned, let alone are they identified as prohibited items. Yet, TSA, in conjunction with the DEA, actively will seize those items. Why? Not because of security reasons, but because of financial reasons. Because the government likes to seize money, because they've been very successful at it. And this needs to stop. Please help raise awareness by sharing this video, showing it to your friends and family, and also by donating, if you can, to the Institute for Justice. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.